One day, Boco rolled tiredly into Nafford Station with a goods train. Edward could tell that something was bothering him. "Is everything all right, Boco? You look tired." "I am. I've been working day and night. I need a rest." The VAT controller could see that Boco was indeed tired, so he decided to let him go and have a rest, and another engine would do his job for him. "Thank you, sir," said Boco. "I could really use a rest right now." And he rolled away. He was happy that the yards were empty, and nice and silent. He rolled onto the turntable, and into the shed to have a rest. All was peaceful until... "Wake up, lazy bones! Why don't you work hard like me?" James. "Gee, Boco, I didn't expect you to be a lazy engine, sitting around the shed all day. I'm sitting here because I've been working hard lately, and I'm exhausted." "More like lazy, you ask me." Typical diesel engines, complaining about too much work as always. Steam engines like myself never complain about work. We just do the work we're told, with no fuss at all. That is hard work. You're lazy and slack." Then the guard blew his whistle, and James set off. Boco rolled his eyes and went back to sleep. James wasn't shortened for long. The coal hopper was low on coal, so Topham Hatt recently asked Boco to do the job of collecting more coal, but he was on rest. He then decided to ask James to do it. James was not happy, but Topham Hatt didn't care. He grumbled dreadfully about it. "Come on, you silly trucks, I want to get this job over with." The trucks laughed. "That's hard work," chuckled Boco. Later that day, Sir Topham Hatt came to see him. "Feeling rested, Boco?" "Indeed, sir. I feel like I can raise Gordon around the whole island." "Excellent, then. How would you like to pull passengers for the rest of the day?" "Yes, sir. Please, sir." And Boco went off to find the passengers, and they have a happy afternoon. He came back home tired but proud of his work. He was just about to go to sleep when James came up fussing in his usual way. "I was lucky to make it out of that coal mine without getting a smirk of dust on my beautiful red paintwork. Huh, why must Sir Topham Hatt sign coal jobs to an important engine like me?" Edward and Boco stared at each other. "Hard work," whispered Boco. All was silent in the shed, when the engines awoke to a ferocious snoring. "What on Sodor is that?" The snoring, turns out, was coming from James, but he had denied it. "I do not snore. I'm a splendid engine. It was probably one of you noisy engines around here." The engines knew that it was going to be a long night. The snoring echoed around the sheds all night long. All the engines were exhausted and crossed the next morning, except for James, who was the only one who slept well that night. "None of us got any sleep last night because of your obnoxious snoring." "I do not snore," said James. "We all heard you," said Gordon. "You sound like an earthquake," said Henry. "Huh, fine. I'll have driver and firemen check me over just to prove you silly engines wrong." James's crew soon searched all over him. After a few minutes of looking, they think they found the problem. Looks like you've got some coal dust and coal in your gears. That must be what's causing you to be so noisy." "Well, James' job to go being cleaned out." "Yes, sir," said James. After James had been cleaned out, Sir Topham had made him do the other engines' work while they rested. James was exhausted. "That's hard work for you, isn't it, James?" said Boco. James said nothing, and entirely went back to work.